Hello, everyone. Welcome to Manifesting. I am Josiah Samuel Harry. I am the author of Choose Love, Not Hate, and I Say Yes. Let's talk about the law of assumption. Within every person lies a plan, a purpose, a mission that will set that person free from the chains of other people's beliefs. Within every person lies a plan, mission, and purpose that will set that person free from the chains of other people's ideologies, other people's ethics, other people's normative and moral system. You see, everyone comes into this world as a sponge, soaking up everything in their environment. This is what psychology calls the unconscious or the absorbent mind. After the age of 3, all the way through 24, the absorbent or unconscious mind becomes conscious. During this period, we are creating our own intelligence. We are constructing our own self-understanding. And how do we create our intelligence? Well, we mimic what we see. We observe adults in their environment and copy their behaviors. We learn to speak the language of our tribe. As we get older, we create our own intelligence through trial and error and discovery. But even then, very few individuals are awakened to their higher selves. Most people live their lives on borrowed norms, on borrowed information, on borrowed practices, on borrowed beliefs, on borrowed principles, on borrowed ethics. Nothing really they can call their own. How many people take time to examine the philosophical worldview? How many people examine what they've been told by their parents, by their community, by their churches, by their mosque, by their synagogues? How many people actually delve into why they believe what they believe? How many people are willing to move from what was instructed to them, what they mimicked, what they observed, and made their own, into really delving into why they practice what they practice? Not many people are willing to risk coming out of the comfort zone of what made them who they think they are. If I was born into the Jewish faith, why embrace anything else? The Jewish faith shaped my identity. If I was born into the Islamic faith, why change anything? That has shaped my identity. If I was born into Hinduism or Christianity, why change that? As we get older, we create our intelligence through trial and error and discovery. But even then, very few individuals are awakened, are fully awakened. Our emotional, spiritual, and social development are mostly borrowed. We inherited those ideologies from what we experienced in our environment. And we carried those ideals, those norms, those beliefs into adulthood, never really asking ourselves, why do I believe what I believe? If I came from a Christian household, why does it matter that I believe in God? What does the existence of God mean to me? How does that realization impact my life? If I was born into an atheistic household, why does the thought of the existence of a God matter? Why focus on the unknown when we know what's before us and we can use the scientific method to explore what is before us? This is not to say that to live an upstanding life, you need to discard your philosophical worldview. This is not to say that you ought to reject anything that you did not discover for yourself. What I am presenting to you is, why not? Why not explore from your inner person? Why not explore now that you are aware that most of what you believe was handed down to you? You mimicked the behavior that you saw from the adults in your concentric circle. You adopted their philosophies. You adopted their religious beliefs. You adopted their principles. You adopted their ethics. You adopted their moral code. You adopted their social identity. So mimicking, observing, and making something ours from what we see is not something we really can avoid. But the question once again becomes, once we come to the realization of being, why does it matter to be awakened to your transcendent self? When do we stop and ask ourselves the question, what do I believe? What do I want to believe? What do I value? What do I want to practice? What do I want to make my own? And when you delve into unknowing, you might conclude that I love what was handed down to me. I love what was passed down to me. I love my philosophical worldview. I love being a Christian. I love being a Muslim. I love practicing Judaism. I love practicing Hinduism. You might conclude that. On the other hand, you might come to a different conclusion. And this is where the law of assumption comes to play. In order to understand and know the law of assumption, you must be willing to venture into unknowing and unbecoming. You have to die to the old self, that old paradigm. And that's the paradigm that has shaped your reality up to this point in your life. Many people are not willing to discard something that has made them who they are, who they believe themselves to be. In order to understand the law of assumption, in order to enter into the realm, into the essence of the law of assumption, you must be willing to discard with the old and adopt the newness of the unknown and become what you are not. The law of assumption, according to Neville Goddard, means to discover within yourself the knowledge of being. To discover within yourself the knowledge, the awareness of who you are, your I am. To discover within yourself the knowledge and awareness of God, of good, the awareness of your highest transcendent self. That's the law of assumption. Thank you for being a part of this journey. And remember, whatever follows I am, you become.